Today, I'm going to show you how to make a fabulous non-dairy noodle pudding, also known as kugel, which our family enjoys at Rosh Hashanah, but you can enjoy all year long. So let's start with what you're going to need in order to make this noodle pudding. Obviously, you need noodles. You're going to want wide or extra wide. They come in a bag or a box, and 12 to 16 ounces is the right amount. You're also going to want 6 eggs, so make sure you have a lot of eggs on hand. You're going to need about 1.5 cups of sugar, so make sure you have some sugar. You're going to need a little bit of salt, some vanilla extract. You're also going to need a can of fruit cocktail and also a can of crushed pineapple. The crushed pineapple can be one of those little cans, or if you can only find a larger can, that's fine. You can obviously take out what you need later. Additionally, you're going to need a pan to put it in. In this case, I often just cook it right in the pan that I want to serve it in. And be sure to have lots of tin foil. For the noodles, follow the instructions on the box or bag, but essentially what you're going to do is put noodles into already boiling water, and if you want, you can add a little bit of salt. One thing that they note is to be sure that if you were going to put it into a casserole, which is essentially what this is, you only want to cook it for the minimum amount of time. So when they recommend 8 to 10 minutes in this case, they say no more than 8 minutes. Because the idea is when you bake it, it's going to continue to cook. While you're waiting for the water to boil and for your noodles ultimately to cook, you can start working on the other ingredients so that everything will be ready once the noodles are done. The first thing that I work on usually are the eggs. So you've cracked 6 eggs, put them into a bowl, and now you're going to whisk them so that they're well beaten. After you've got 6 well beaten eggs in your bowl, you can add 1.5 cups of sugar. To your eggs and sugar, add 4.5 tablespoons of vegetable shortening, half a teaspoon of salt, and stir. We want to be sure not to overdo the noodles, so be sure to set a timer. And while those are cooking, you can finish working on the rest of your ingredients. So we've already added the eggs, the sugar, the salt, and the vegetable shortening. Next up, we need 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. So let's do that. This is actually a 2 tablespoon spoon. So we add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Now it's time to add the fruit. First off is the fruit cocktail. This is actually a full-size, 15 or 16 ounce can that you're going to use. In this case, you're going to drain it first. So get rid of the liquid and then pour it into your mixture. With the pineapple, what you actually need is only 7 ounces of crushed pineapple, but in that case, you're keeping the liquid. Sometimes you can find little cans of 7 ounces. Sometimes you have to buy a bigger one and obviously then just divide to figure out about 7 ounces. So once you've combined the noodles with all of the other ingredients, you want to just give it a little stir. You don't want to end up breaking the noodles, but just enough that it combines everything. So it starts to look like this. And you're going to put them into a greased baking dish. And remember, if we want to keep this non-dairy, you're going to use something like margarine or oil. At that point, you've got the dish with the mixture in it, and it will look like this. Looking good, right? It's not even cooked yet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover it in foil, put it in the oven for 1.5 hours at 350. This is the finished product of our noodle pudding. In this case, I used extra wide noodles, though typically I use regular wide noodles. Both come out wonderful, and I don't know if you can still hear the sizzle, but I can tell you that it smells amazing. Now you know how to make my mom's fabulous noodle pudding. I hope you enjoy it in good health.